Whole of England here, and I hope you're all having a great day today. Now, we are going to be taking a look at the George, as you could probably tell by the thumbnail, with it being Georgia Impressions, but this ship I did recently acquire because it is one of these ships that is going to be getting removed pretty soon, so I've been really just grinding towards it, so all of the sort of Santa stuff with all the snowflakes, etc., as well as sort of doing the daily XPs just to get that coal every single day. So, over the past few days, I've actually now been testing this ship, as I've only just recently got it, just to really find out how to best play it, as well as what playstyles really best suit it, and also the best sort of playstyles which really suit me as well, just for personally how I like to play. Now, as most of you know, or at least probably most of you know, then the new Captain reworks sort of come out, which means that a lot of the builds that used to apply, you could sort of go for a sort of general battleship build, which would sort of fit like 90% of other builds. Yeah, that's no longer the case, as now it's more just a fact of experimenting with finding the actual best sort of build here. Now, I have tried sort of various builds, etc. I mean, I did unfortunately only have I didn't have like that many captain skills. However, the captain build that I'm currently using at the moment, and I'll put this on screen, which is gun feeder, grease the gears, long range secondary battery shells, and close quarters combat. That's what I'm now trying now, because this is one I'm currently using now thanks to Chris Burnett, because in one of my previous videos he sort of gave me some advice because he's got the Georgia, and I'm assuming he's been playing it a lot longer than I have, as I mean I've only really had it for a few days, maybe a week I think, but actually playing it only a few days, so he gave me some advice for sort of various builds to go for, and he said that's what he was running, and also gave me some advice to use one of the Doe brothers. So I did actually purchase one of them for, I think it was 1,500 doubloons or something for George Doe, and that is quite good because what it lets you have is sort of, I guess, an improved gun feeder as well as grease the gears, so I think that's like 75% time to actually change what shell type once they're fully loaded, rather than the 50%, and then grease the gears obviously allows it to traverse a lot faster. Now, that being said, it's been working actually quite well for me. I mean, I've not really need to change it, because I mean, like, okay, well, I'm going to keep on playing it, and then if there's anything I find a little bit different, then yeah, I'll sort of change it and try a few different skills. But honestly, it's actually been working quite well, because this ship, it's really, really quite fun. It's sort of like the best of everything, because usually what I've been doing with anything with secondaries, it's mainly been going with Germans. Also, this rune here gets quite unlucky. But most secondary builds and ships I've mainly been playing as German ships, which have been sort of like the Bismarck and... Okay, no, it wasn't that shot, sorry. I mean, still 5k, that's quite good for a single penetration. But it's been sort of things such as, like, say, the Pommern, the Odin, the Tirpitz, sometimes the Scharnhorst, but not that often. But yeah, I was like, okay, well, I'll play this. I mean, it looks like it's got some pretty decent secondaries, and yeah, they are really good. And I guess my first impression with this was just more surprised as to how well they actually performed. And there we go, we got a nice Citadel. As I don't know why he slowed down there. I guess he was trying to dupe me to make me sort of fire along, but I could see he was slowing down there, so I went straight for the sort of long range shot. And as you probably see on the map, I mean, it's not too clear here. I mean, at the moment we have actually got a lot of the enemy team pushing on this small amount, and it looks like the Richelieu's turning away, the Otago's turning away. So I did also start going for that shortly, because it's like, well, I'm not going against this many people, but it was just the fact that you can see on the map there, it's 11.3 kilometers for the range of these secondaries, which is pretty damn good. And, I have been playing a few times, and these secondaries have come in, and they have been very, very effective, and they're just hitting. I mean, as the actual damage, they sometimes don't do as much as some of the Germans, but even so, I do find them quite good. And, yep, here's a Bismarck here, and generally just, I'm really enjoying it. Now, obviously, I don't have the Deadeye skill, because this is a 10-point commander, as I had just bought it, and I'm still trying to get the next skill points. But I think for the next skill point, I'm probably going to go for Deadeye, just because, as well as the, I guess, the close quarters combat, which gets you a reload boost once someone's within your detection radius. If I get Deadeye, that means I also get improved dispersion at long range when anyone's out of my detection, which means either way, I'm going to have some sort of bonus to my gun. So if someone's too close, I reload faster, meaning that's going to be better for, well, obviously close quarters combat, as well as the secondaries also get a buff there, and also get a very nice hit there. Not as much damage as I would have liked. I mean, in the Roma, if I'd have got something like that, it could have got me up to like 20k, but even so, still very good. but at long range it'll also give me the actual dispersion buff. I mean, obviously I think some of these are going to change with the actual builds and the skills, how they work, because evidently people really are not liking this at the moment, and it is effectively ruining the game for some people. A lot of people I know are taking a break now, so it is, which is quite sad. So this will probably change, but I mean, what I'm currently using at the moment is obviously the build that I just said. Now, this is probably my most recent game, just for the fact of, I mean, because I have been playing quite a few of the past few days and that, but yeah, this is my most recent game, just for the fact of, it was actually probably the most fun I've actually had, as it sort of, I guess, sort of got to me. I was like, you know what, yeah, this is the sort of playstyle I'm quite liking. It's sort of more medium range. Obviously, you can go for the long range shots, but for me, it's more medium range, somewhat brawling, and somewhat just sort of, I guess, longer range firing, depending on what I'm doing. But honestly, it's very good. And I mean, the guns, you have only got 6 of them, but they make up for it. Well, you're just gonna see what they do later in this game. I mean, there we go. I mean, only got 4K on that Missouri, but it's just a very good all-round ship. So I can kind of see why this is getting removed, in the sense of, you know, if everyone has one, then it's you know, it's going to be, there's going to be too many in the game, I guess. I mean, that is the argument that they used anyway. It's just the fact of, like, for example, say the Kronstadt as well, that got removed just because they want to have a bit more diversity in the terms of which ships people are going to be using. So people are grinding towards it, and then they're going to be going for different ones, whichever one's going to be released in the future. Now, as well as it just having pretty good, you know, a pretty good very good secondaries, really good main battery guns. I mean, the reload is actually really good as well. I mean, if you're running Adrenaline Rush as well, that's gonna reduce it further. But you know, the actual reload is good, the dispersion's pretty good, and the actual speed of it's good as well. Because you can currently see at the moment I'm using a speed boost, which is something you don't really see too often on battleships, which comes in really useful. And you can see I'm currently doing about 37 knots before I started turning then. Which means this thing, when you need it to, can really shift. So it just means it's like, okay, well, I either want to get to a position fast or I want to leave a position fast. Just pop that consumable, and there you go. You are sorted. And it really is just quite good, in the sense of it just does everything you want. I mean, I was only getting this just for the fact of, well, it's getting removed, and it's the one that I'd be most likely to want anyway, and then I'll just see how it performs. And I kind of wish I got this early, because it is just such a good ship. Kind of getting shot at from, I think that's the Jean Bart. And it's just everything about it is good. I mean, the armour is rather good as well. I mean, yeah, sometimes you do get punished at some questionable angles. I mean, there's been a few times where I've lost like half my HP when I've not been broadside. It's just they've got, I guess, either very lucky or they've just got some crazy shot. But even so, I think it's just, with the more I'm playing this, the more I'm getting used to the ship. And it's just generally quite good. I mean, you can see my secondaries popping off here at the moment. I mean, yeah, I'm not hitting too many at the moment, but that's more, I guess, the extent of my range here that I'm getting these hits. I mean, once you start getting close, you just start hitting loads of them. And I mean, the Bayern, you know, there's not much he can do at the moment, because I mean, he's got the Richelieu, myself, as well as the rest of the team's now pushing on this side. And yep, there we go, he's just been knocked out. And I gotta say, I do really wish I got that kill, just for, as you'll see later on in this game. But even so, I'm still quite happy with the result I got. Now, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of downsides at the moment, and honestly, I can't think of any, because or at least at the moment, it just seems like such a fun ship. It does everything that you could want. And yeah, I don't know what this Otago is doing here. I mean, I'm not too sure if he was going for the, yeah, I don't know if it's going to the Bayern or not, but yeah, if I'd have kept on that course and not realised, that would have probably ended this game pretty prematurely, which would have probably gotten a loss as well, because this game is a very tight game as well, in the sense of, I mean, I thought we'd lost near the end of this, but you will see. I mean, hey, we could still lose, but we will see. But yeah, just going to finish off the screen because he's low and no one else was shooting him, so I'm like, well, might as well try and get him out. That's one less gun in the game. And the thing with this as well, you can see, like, it's just started spotting something and they just start popping off. I'm like, oh yeah, there's someone close enough. I find it crazy that they actually reach this far, because as I say, it's usually the Germans that I usually expect to be doing that sort of long range shooting with secondaries, but no, it's these instead. And there we go, get some nice shots on that Jean Bart, but unfortunately they do hit the torpedo protection. But even so, it doesn't matter. I mean, one thing, I've not really been using high explosive much in this. I mean, obviously when I've seen a destroyer and I've been loaded, and I'm like, well, okay, well, I might as well change my shell type. I've gone and changed to HE, but honestly, the armor piercing in this thing really, it just works perfectly. You know, it hits hard, especially, you know, obviously when you're given, I guess, the best circumstances you can, then it will really hit hard. But I mean, just in general, they do. They just do what you know it says on the tin. They're armor piercing, and they do a good amount of damage, especially if you're aiming correctly. Now, so this is what I was quite enjoying as well. So I'm like, well, this looks quite fun. I'm going to engage a Jean Bart and a Missouri here. Those two are there. So I'm like, okay, I'll pop my speed boost and I'll just start running towards them. And again, another thing with the ship, it is really manoeuvrable as well. I mean, obviously with the speed, I mean, the rudder shift is somewhat slow. I will admit, it is somewhat slow to actually get the rudder shifting. But once it's shifted, you turn fast, which is very good. So it allows me to actually just keep on manoeuvring around just whilst I'm popping shots at this. I mean, unfortunately, I do get overpens on this Missouri, so if it was a little bit more angled, that'd be quite nice to get full penetration, but even so, it's, yeah, there we go. We get 2 full penetrations, get 5k each, leaving that Missouri pretty low, and now he's like, oh, yeah, this guy exists, and he's hurting me. I'm gonna turn an angle towards him and pop some shots off, but I think it's already a little bit too late for this Missouri here. You know, he's now got a lot of the other people which have started pushing, and just generally going to try and hit them. Yeah, he's healing up at the moment, but even so, I mean, it's questionable what this guy really did here, because it's like, yeah, he could have just continued angling them, but instead decided, for some reason, he'd just turn like this and give me a broadside. I'm really happy with that. That was another 2 penetrations, which did 7k. And yeah, I can see the Osteotland, and I wish I'd paid more attention to it, to be honest. Spoiler alert, he does contribute quite well to, quite significantly to my downfall. And yeah, here comes some torpedo planes. And I'm actually quite glad, because we had quite good carriers. He saw straight away he dropped some fighters here, which was very nice of him. Yeah, just start turning in just so I can avoid these whilst I'm still engaging the Jean Bart. And so yeah, it's just engagements like this that I was really enjoying, because it's like, hey, I've just killed a Missouri, and now I'm killing a Jean Bart as well. I mean, you can see there he's only just put his fire out, and to here I was like, oh, someone's going to fire at them, aren't they? And then I saw the shots come like, yeah, I'm not getting the kill here. But thankfully, they did nothing, so yeah, I did that. But yeah, here we go. Here's the torpedoes. I was like, oh no, oh no, 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 no. I mean, I had taken out the Jean Bart, which was very good, so it means, you know, I'm not going to be taking fire from that. But as you can see, the planes are coming over to end my life. So yeah, 6,000 HP. I mean, I am healing up here, and I just wish the repair party, well, not the repair party, the damage control party lasted just a second more, because unfortunately, yep, he sets a fire, and that seals my fate. Now, I was like, you know what, that was a really fun game here. You know, I enjoyed that. I was just brawling, shooting, just generally how I like to play battleships quite a lot. I mean, obviously, in some of the other ships where you are needing to play more further back because you can't brawl, then obviously you have to. And again, I enjoy those as well. So, I mean, say the British battleships, the Thunder and the Conqueror. But even so, I did quite enjoy that. Now, as you can probably see there, we were getting very close to losing there, but yeah. Moving on, this is the sort of next bit. I started recording again because we were going to lose. We got like 2 caps we'd not got. And you can actually see the points here, 950. It was like sort of on a nice edge at this point, where it was just the Indianapolis and the Udachi. I mean, the Indianapolis gets taken out by the Richelieu. And then, you know, it's just the Udachi left. But we were nearly losing. It was just the fact of, like, they took out, like, just the right ships at the right time just to score some more time. This Richelieu capped the B point, and somehow we did actually win this game. And you can just see this Udachi's being permanently spotted by the fighters, and we've also got the Indomitable here, just keeping him spotted with his main planes too. And so that's going to be one more salvo from this Richelieu. We're going to see in a second, which just wipes him out. And somehow, we actually won the game, which was great. So, going to the results screen here, I mean, it just shows you that, I mean, obviously, I know there are people that play a lot better in the ship. I mean, this guy in my clan, it's Stefan. He absolutely adores this ship. I mean, you ask him about the Georgia, and he will probably say it's the best ship in the game. And yeah, some of the results he's got are pretty crazy as well. But I mean, this, as I say, I've only just started playing in this thing, so I mean, I'm happy with this. But even so, this was quite a good result, really. So 138,000 damage with the Confederate, which is quite good. Yeah, decent amount of target hits. And I mean, even though obviously there's only 6 guns, I mean, you can see I've still managed to hit quite a bit. Got the Citadel. I mean, I could have got a Kraken. So I mean, if I had taken out that Bayern to begin with, that would have got me the Kraken. And yeah, the second battery hits there, 123, which is good. I mean, Obviously, I could get more if I took the skill to actually make it so manual fire control, and then you got the dispersion reduction. So I could probably get that up to maybe 200 in that game if I had that. But even so, I think it's very good. Now, again, as well as actually having the amount of damage it does, it actually earns quite a few credits. But if we just very quickly first go over to the sort of team score here, you can see, I mean, I wish this game had been the game prior because I was trying to do my navals and I just finished my navals and I hadn't got the latest one. And I think the bar was like 1500, and then I managed to pull this result off, which is quite a shame. But even so, that got me to top tier, which is quite good. And then just the detailed report, so just the damage here, I mean, yeah, just generally quite good all round damage on each ship. So about 20 to 30k on most ships there. So yeah, just very good engaging on various ships. And then credits and XP, which we'll quickly go over, which is, well, you can see it's quite a lot. I mean, even if I hadn't got my premium, you can see that's going to be 300,000 credits. And if you can get that pretty regularly, that's going to be really good. I mean, the actual sort of, I guess, resupply is not too much. It's only 84,000 as well, so that certainly gets it down. But overall, it is just a very good performing ship. So I guess those are really my impressions. I mean, so far, I think it has been just generally a good ship, and it's something I'm probably going to be playing more in future. But that is really it for me. So if you found this useful at all, or just generally enjoyed, then make sure to leave a like. And if there's any ships you want me to look at in future, I mean, I've got quite a few now. I've started just generally collecting them, and I'm going to be doing, I guess, my impressions on quite a few ships. But if there's any ships in particular that you want me to look at, and if I got them, then yeah, I'll take a look at them. And that's it from me. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.